Now is Jennifer Olize with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jennifer.
Good morning, Dr. Abasi. Good morning, Aya, and good morning, Rufai.
Morning,
Everyone's
Jennifer.
looking pretty good today. I love that bow tie, Dr. Abasi. So pretty. And Aya, of course, always looking beautiful.
Looking great in florist and pink.
Thank you.
Great to
colors.
see you.
We have to bring colors to this life. So let's begin with what's trending now. President Bola Tinubu has said that Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty in the world. While admitting that there are poverty and suffering in the land, Tinubu said that challenges must be tackled. Speaking in Lagos on Monday during a visit from a National Assembly delegation, the delegation, which was led by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, alongside the Deputy Senate President Jibril Barrow, and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, amongst others. Tinubu stressed the need to address the issue of poverty, particularly by tackling banditry and terrorism, to enable farmers to return to their farms. The president also emphasized the importance of a change in the value system for Nigeria to make progress. In the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also paid homage to the Oba of Lagos, Rewan Aremu Akiolu, at his palace on Monday. In this video, now making rounds on social media, some Lagosians trooped out in mass to welcome President Tinubu, waving their hands to the convoy of the president. Let's take a look. Wow, lovely video out there. I'm very surprised that the video have people in it waving and smiling, because right now we know that Nigerians are not smiling. In the previous video, obviously, Nigerians were screaming, you know, we're hungry. So this one that they're smiling now, I'm very surprised, because everything has increased. Like they said, tomatoes have increased, the price of fuel, everything has increased in this country. There's inflation, high inflation rates. How are we going to tackle this problem instead of lamenting all the time?
Well, voter behavior in Nigeria is not the same kind of voter behavior that you find in other jurisdictions. Were we not all surprised in 2015 when, despite the hardship in the country, Nigerians still trooped out and voted for the APC? In 2023, you will have thought that APC should be punished for the poor performance of the preceding 8 years. But there were some people who were running up and down saying that they are standing on APC mandate. They still voted. Well, there are some people who may argue about the transparency or the credibility of the electoral process in 2015, in 2019 and 2023, or even any other election. Now, the last time, as you pointed out, when the president came to Lagos, people were shouting Ibim Power around the Central Mosque area. The same voters now, when he came to Lagos this time and he went to visit the Eleko, you know, they were saying, they were hailing him, they were happy, they were excited. So voter behavior in Nigeria is very complex indeed. Now, to the issue of the visit by the National Assembly delegation, well, this was a period of visits, you know, because it's Salah season. The president saying Nigerians are not the only ones suffering from poverty. No, that's not the point. The point is that over 60% of Nigerians are living in abject poverty, in fact, below poverty line.
Correct.
So it's not just that they have poverty in Ghana, they have poverty in Senegal. Look, our own is a very special poverty. After all, we were described as the poverty capital of the world. But my big takeaway from the statement by Ajuri Ngelale is that the president says, well, we need to address insecurity, we have to check kidnapping, we have to make sure that farmers are able to go to their farms and all of that. So since the president, has an idea of what is going on, well, it's for him to solve the problem, to take concrete steps to address the poverty, since he's fully aware of all the problems. And what we want are results in that particular regard. In the last paragraph of that report, he talked about his unwavering commitment to addressing the problem of poverty and insecurity. Unwavering commitment, he said. Okay, that's important. But we hope that that expression of commitment is not another promise. It's not another expression of hope. Because we have been looking forward to this hope since. Inflation is 33.95. When will that hope arrive? This is the question.
So for me, it's a contradiction in the statement. How can you say in one breath, it's not only Nigerian people are poor, people are suffering, and you're saying you have unwavering commitment to poverty? So there's a contradiction in that statement. So what is even the mindset? The mindset is you don't even think that Nigerians are suffering enough. And it has to be said. And videos, like I always say, are subjective. That can be in the middle of people that are his fans. He has fans. Don't deceive yourself. He's got fans. He's got admirers. But if you also see other people too, if you go through some areas, they will also scream "Giving power." So if we take one side, that's one reflection. There are many other sides to it. So I do not see, any big deal about the video. And there are some people that normally, when the president is passing by, they will hail, they will cheer. It doesn't mean that everything is well with their stomach. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that everything is well with their stomach. Hungry. And they also think there are people that, they would also cheer about. But let's face the emergent problem. What are the emergent problems? The fact now that the president is saying he wants to buy 2 jets now for him and the vice president at a time where the country is bleeding dry. Also, the fact that as we speak today, most Nigerians could not celebrate Salah. Do you know how expensive transportation is? Somebody was telling me that from Lagos to Ibadan, it was 5,000 naira to go for Salah. 5,000 naira. When they were coming back, it was 3,000 naira to go for Salah.
And this Salah, we didn't even get any
That's
rams.
the kind of
Usually
country we are living in. So those are the problems on ground. Because of fuel inflation, there's lots of inflation. 5,000 Lagos to Ibadan.
Yes.
Well, on the question of the jets, Mr. Ononuga has said, do we want our president's plane to fall from the sky?
This is actually
as the Iranian president and the Malawi vice president.
Exactly.
So with due respect, that's emotional blackmail.
Wait, let's just take this next story and we'll go over it. So after the visit in Lagos, President Tinubu arrived in South Africa on Tuesday to attend the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa. His visit comes after the House of Representatives asked the federal government to purchase a new aircraft for the president and vice president. Many have criticized the proposal, including Peter Obi, who in series of tweets on Monday said that the proposal was unacceptable because it highlights the disconnect between the government and the people. Bayo Ononuga, the special advisor on information and strategy to the President Bola Tinubu, in response, berated Peter Obi over his comments, saying that the purchase of a new aircraft is the basic thing any sane government would do because the government cannot toy with the president's welfare. Ononuga spoke to Punch, adding, and I quote, "Does Peter Obi want the president dead? Is that his wish? Does he want him to continue moving around in a rickety plane and die like the VP of Malawi and Iran president? Let him tell us."
Okay. I talk because I want to say something.
Yes, the plane is not
rickety,
and I think, to be honest, I think it was insensitive for him to refer to the VP of Malawi when it's close enough to the time when this unfortunate incident happened. It wasn't the plane or the status of the plane that caused that crash. It was bad weather. I think it's also good to make that clarification so that it doesn't justify what should not be justifiable. Again, it just goes to show and deepen the fact that the political class are not in touch with the realities of Nigerians. What people want is access to basic necessities. And there you are justifying access to buying a new plane. If the plane is not serving the president and the vice president, let him fly commercial. Let him fly commercial like the president of Kenya, President William Ruto. Let him show that he understands the plight of the people and not be agitating for things that when people hear it, it's aggravating. It can make people upset. It is provocative for you to hear that people are hungry and people are waiting just for a meal or to feed their family, and what you are defending is the right to buy another plane because you're, and using emotional blackmail to push your point. Now, I'd like very quickly just to talk about the first bit in terms of the Senate president going to see the president. Earlier on during the show, we had looked at the video of the Congress, U.S. Congress, calling or chastising or grilling the head of Boeing. And what we commended was accountability. How can we have accountability in a country where the Senate and the executive, they are frolicking? Any small holiday, they are coming to visit and pay homage. And at what point would they call in the executive to ask, why are we in this situation currently where people are hungry, where the chants and the shouts is being power, instead going to pay homage? Go and visit your constituents and really understand how hungry people are so that you will stop making justifications for things that don't make sense, quite frankly. When we say make sacrifices, this message has come up a number of times. Can we see the political class start by making sacrifices as well? If the plane is not good enough, fly commercial. That's what I'm saying.
The other day, Rufai also said that he should fly Airpeace.
No, he should. I don't know why he's not flying Airpeace. By now, he should He should have an agreement with Airpeace, like this South Africa is going to. It will even be good because when he lands South Africa with Airpeace, he will tell the South African president, I say, see you. I came with my own national, airline company. They are doing very well, flying them. They come to South Africa. But let's set a record straight. Let's even put a cost to this analogy. How much do they need for these airplanes? I just checked the price of a Falcon. If you want to have a Dassault Falcon, it will set you back $35 to $58 million. This is 737, or 747 series, 400. The older model will set you back $50 to $60 million. If you want two, it's going to be going to over $100 million. But this was the same government that spent $21 billion recently to finish home of a vice president. This was the same government that spent $90 billion on hard travel. Mr. Ononuga, with his insensitivity, is now mocking the Malawian vice president that died by making a false allusion. Also mocking the Iranians. The reason why Iran, the crash happened was because it was an old Bell helicopter and they